How have you been, my bro? I haven't seen you in a while, man. You've been
Man, I've
traveling.
been.
Every time I talk to you, you're like in a different place.
I'm just glad to be someplace, sitting down, not in a hurry to be anywhere.
I actually understand that. People like you gotta like really put your big boy pants on when it comes to travel,
Yeah,
because people think that they're like, oh yeah, I want to just travel all of the time,
man.
and then you start really doing it, and
Yeah,
you're like not like, but like you're more like, I just want to get home to the bed that I know, just for
yeah.
a little bit,
Just
please.
exactly. That's where I am right now. If I don't see another plane for a month, I don't even want to drive past the airport just for 30 days.
Ah, shout out to the people that have been on for the last 5 minutes with Akeem and looking at a beautiful view behind me. But I did not know that you were already on. I was trying to keep it relatively tight to 6:30. But thank you for being on time, my brother. I appreciate that.
Hey, look, man. Ain't nothing else going on.
Nah,
I
you
mean,
know,
I cleared my whole Friday for this. Thanks for inviting me.
nah, because you know what time it is when it comes to getting into this whole thing with people moving abroad. It's crazy
Yeah,
because there have been so many exit points. There have been so many exit points to I realize this is not even plugged in, so we're all good here. There's been so many exit points to why some people left America. Whether it was what happened during COVID and the pandemic and everything else. What happened during we got Donald Trump, a businessman, becoming president. And then there's still so many people there. But now there's like even another like surge of people looking to leave,
yeah,
literally because they're like another one.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nah, it's really tough because it's like and capitalism is going to do what capitalism does, which is continue to give you something to buy. There have been, I think there has been 1 year. I think Virgin is doing 1 year cruises, so you can buy an annual pass and cruise as much as you want for a year.
Oh, really?
There have been right. Hold on, it's $120,000 for two people and not including taxes.
$120,000 per person or just for two people?
No, total for two people. You can cruise
Oh, okay.
anything that they have, but you need to pay up front. There's no deposit plan. Taxes and fees are not included. And
That's
yeah, I mean, Virgin is I told you it's a vibe, but that is what Virgin is offering. I've seen a cruise that offers a around the world tour for the next 4 years. And my biggest thing with that around the world tour for the next 4 years is when you come back after 4 years, what do you think is going to happen if the things that have been lined up are actually going to transpire? Like you come back after 4 years and you're like, oh yeah, I've been on a cruise, and then you come back and it's like, yeah, now things are completely different than what it is that you left.
not only that, like that sounds more like prison than a good time. Four
The
years
more I
on a
understand,
boat, that's like
that's a
that's a
long time.
Navy tour. 4 years on a
Yeah,
boat.
I don't think I can. I don't think I can take myself off of land for that amount of time. To
Yeah,
be
it's
honest with
like
you,
after a while it becomes they tell you when to eat, they tell you when to get off the boat, when to come back on the boat. No.
but here's the thing, though. So many people, bro, and you already know this, are in a situation. Of I gotta go. I have to. I actually have to go.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I mentioned the other reasons why so many people might have left already. But now it's another turning point. It's another turning point where people are like, I have to actually like I'm leaving. There's no way that I'm going to sign myself up. I've gotten from people our age to people in our parents' age that are literally like, I'm leaving. Like maybe I'm not leaving America, but even for the inauguration weekend, for my people that live in DC,
Yeah.
they're like, I'm there. There's no way that I'm going to be in DC during this time frame.
Yep. There's so many people. After you mentioned it, as a matter of fact, some people who signed up for a couple of trips with us. They were asking if we had anything going on that weekend, and I'm just like, nah.
You should have told them about Bahamas, man. We're going to listen. We are going to the Bahamas.
I forgot all
It's
about
not even
that.
like a
Yeah, you
it's not
guys
even
go.
like a trip. It's not even like a trip. It's just I know and you know people have been stressed in the United States since the election. Like we even if we would have seen a competitive race, maybe people could have handled it. But America really showed their face and showed exactly what it is that they want. And um, I was literally here in Medellin at a bar with a bunch of black expats, and it went from a party to a funeral relatively quickly.
Oh, y'all were watching it. Y'all were following the election.
Shout out to Tim. Shout out to Skybox Lurellis. Literally, I think his birthday is today. We gotta get out the house once I get wrapped up with you. But literally,
Okay.
so we were at Skybox. Tim had did a let's watch the election event, and literally we were sitting there. He had happy hour. It was a good time, and then it wasn't.
Listen,
Quickly. I never seen somebody get spanked like that. Like I was not looking forward to that. I was literally sitting there in shock and awe. Like
I mean, it's like the last time. I mean, America is America. Well, the United States is the United States. Um,
yeah, right. Don't put all that on the A word.
yeah,
It's Central America. It's South
right,
America.
right, right,
North
right.
America does not. And it also
Specifically,
includes
the
Canada.
United States. Specifically, the
Yeah,
United States.
narrowed down.
Yeah, I've even seen it. I remember back when Obama. I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine. Even when Obama won, there was white resistance in his party, in the Democratic Party. So America, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Um, but we're at a point in time where I'm glad to see black people taking advantage of the opportunities to leave the country and to explore the world and explore options to live abroad. That's exciting.
What?
That's exciting. That's really exciting. And to be able to talk and share with like not even just young people, just people of all age groups, all generations, um, just all of us having the conversation about living abroad. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, man. Um, I've been fortunate enough to be able to talk to people and advise them. Um, if you're not sure where you want to live outside of the United States, and you're able to, like, if you work remote or you're retired or you're just able to spend extended periods of time outside of the U.S., I always advise people split your time up, do little trial runs. I'm I'm biased. I like Colombia. I prefer Colombia. So I tell people, hey, if you're not sure which city you want to live in Colombia, try them all. Try Cartagena, try Medellin, try Santa Marta, try Cali. Um, and if it's a toss up between different countries, just split it up and see which one gels with you more, which one is more uh, to your liking, to your style, which one's a good
Exactly.
fit. And I'm not sure. I'm sure like people have been hitting you up like crazy, Mr.
Literally.
Medellin,
Literally.
and where else? Like Mexico or where else were you?
No. Medellin and Cartagena. But I think more people are realizing that Cartagena is not necessarily a place that you may want to live. It is an option to do so, but not necessarily a place that you want to live. And I know that more people, as they know that I live out here and have said, oh, maybe it's something. I mean, obviously they know that I live out here, and there's no way that I go from Philadelphia to a place that is dangerous or a place that I'm not having a great time, knowing me. But more people of all age ranges are starting to hit me up, of
Yeah,
all ethnicities and ilks and backgrounds. Like literally, like I am getting the entire rainbow of not only like different races, but people that have money, people that don't have a lot of money to go around. Like it's everybody at this point because the I would say it depends on which at this point America seems to have drawn a lot of lines. So, but it depends on which side of the line you fall on at this point. That it is like, I'm ready to go. There are so many people that are going to the retirement age that are looking like, hey, maybe it's Colombia, maybe it's not, maybe it's somewhere else. But
right,
the opportunity to have somebody that knows what the heck they're talking about, and not just somebody that just you and I talk about this, bro. The people that the internet is becoming a very sticky place. Especially with AI, also because you're like, I don't. It's like older people may not know what is the truth and what is not. And I say this is because so many people are becoming aficionados on travel, and the internet gives it their ability to spread their message very widely, very quickly. And you and I have talked about this so much where people will go somewhere for a week or 2 weeks and say, this is the itinerary that you need to follow. This is what you need to do when you go here. And then you and I both know they go there and they may not have the best time
right. They
because
don't
this
have the
guy had
same
only been there.
experience. Yeah, yeah. That's one of the biggest things. How can I put it? I'm constantly telling people, if you really want to know something about a place, first of all, if you're watching this video, if you're out there and you're considering finding a new place to live or taking a journey of relocating or moving abroad, the expat groups or the foreigner groups are the first places you should look. They are great resources if you're traveling, even if you're just traveling, even if you're just vacationing and looking for things to do in a particular spot. Um, those are the best places. YouTube is not always the best resource. Social media is not, well, not social media, but we have to be mindful. Sometimes people are just doing things for clicks and for likes. So there are moments when a person is just in, I don't know, Cartagena. I'll use Cartagena for an example. Somebody may go to Cartagena for 3 days. They arrive on Friday and they leave on Monday. And they'll give you this whole package of things to do. Well, it's kind of hard to gauge uh, what's good information and what's bad information from a person who has only been in a place for 3 days. That's why I recommend connecting with people who actually live or frequently travel to a place. That's the best way to connect or the best way to get information about a place that you're considering living or traveling to. People do things for likes. They do things for views. They do things for the wrong reason, and a lot of people are getting in trouble behind these uh, influences. So be
Yep.
careful. Be very
Yep.
careful when you're.
TikTok the terminal.
Yeah, be very
I,
careful because
I saw this thing the other day. I don't know if I shared it with you. I probably did, but it was it was a you can hear me?
yeah, I hear you. You froze up for a
Yeah.
minute, but I hear you.
Nah, it's all good. My computer is definitely doing something. I just want to make sure you hear me because I can't see you right now, but it'll probably fix itself. However, I ran into a situation where it was a girl that was crying back out to TikTok and said, "You guys didn't tell me this," and she had took, weed to some country. I don't know what country it was, and she took weed to some country and ended up having to pay like 12. Her friend had to pay $1,200, and she said, "You guys told me it was okay. You guys told me it was okay to bring this here because I learned this on TikTok."
That's nuts.
Oh, I know it is,
That's
and you know it
nuts.
is.
That's
But
nuts.
she was literally saying, going back to TikTok and said, "But y'all told me it was cool, and this is what it is that I could do, and we were supposed to be good." And I'm like, "What are you talking about, sis? Like, how do you sit there as an adult and say I'm going to go from literally TikTok to terminal on somebody that I haven't met?" Now, a lot of people on our platforms know us. They trust us because they know that when they come with us, they have a good time. However, there are so many people that have branded themselves aficionados of some place and run into a situation where they're misleading people because they've been there for 72 hours, 96 hours, and now have an ebook. They've got an
That's wild.
itinerary for you to book.
That's wild. Ay, ay,
That's
ay.
what we're seeing in this age, though, bro. And so many people are in an emotional scenario. America will make you emotional. Like, never mind the conversations that we have that are designed to say, hey, did you realize that this is what you were going through and that this is not the world? Like, we point out so many things that in America, you and I and the people that we love have gotten used to.
Right.
Think about this, bro. This is 2024, so we can only talk about this year. I'm only going to talk about this year, but half of the year Americans couldn't eat lunch meat.
Say again.
Americans couldn't eat lunch meat half of the year because it was recalled. You remember that? Remember we couldn't eat no
In
lunch meat?
2024?
Yeah, you must
Yeah,
not be a sampler.
I've been going for more than most of 2024, so I don't know what's going on I don't know what's going
Okay,
on in
so
your country,
here's
man.
here's the, here's the real deal. The Americans couldn't eat lunch meat and pack sandwiches for their children for half
In
the
the
year
US.
in the U.S.
Wow.
Salads and vegetables were getting recalled because of I mean, a bunch of different things. But salads and vegetables. So even the people that were like, okay, I'm not even on the lunch meat, so I'm going on salads and vegetables. But they were getting recalled because of issues that were in the packaging and processing, and people
E.
were getting E.
coli
coli
and stuff
from.
like that. This is not the first time. This is a common thing. That's a common thing.
No, but it's happening more, and at a time where groceries are $100 a bag. So emotionally, Americans are in a scenario where the weight of just surviving, and surviving is house, home, food, like transport to from work to be able to do all of that things. They're in a situation where this may be weighing on them even more than it has. I know what my reason was to leave, and it was 2 years ago, and 2 years passed, and those things didn't give anybody a reason to leave that is still there. But
Mm.
now it seems more dire than ever. People are like, why it's dire? And this is what I said. That's why I started off with, it's a Virgin cruise, 1 year. Other cruises, 4 years,
Yeah.
because they understand the science of capitalism. Let's capitalize on their pain.
Right, right, right. I can see that.
Let's capitalize on their they don't know what it is to do. And then there's so many people that have the ability to leave, and then so many people that don't but still want to.
Yeah, I can see that. Somebody even mentioned, it might have been you, somebody mentioned something about Italy or some European. countries were passing incentives for investors or people. Coincidentally, it
Mm.
just they just happened to restart the initiatives for people to come and invest and buy homes for like really cheap to live and get citizenship or residency in these countries in Europe. So yeah, I can definitely see where there's a play to they're playing into our situation, our current political situation. Uh,
Yeah,
I wish I just kind of wish Colombia would play into it as well because these visas ain't
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they're not the
this
most
visa
friendliest
situation is
ones.
nuts.
I think they're going. I think they're gonna be forced to realize. I mean, I don't know what the current government is looking at. I will say I think I understand it's a left leaning government right now. So maybe they will give opportunities. You know, there's the professional visa that's in Panama, which is a former part of Colombia that is right there.
Yeah,
And the professional visa is a visa that will lead you to residency. Whereas a lot of the visas that are here that are available, I always tell people Colombia is a great first stop. You're gonna mess around and enjoy yourself too much and want it to be, your base and everything else to
yeah,
go and see the world. But there, if you don't have a lot of liquid cash, it could be difficult to get a path to residency. If you're not looking to marry a Colombian, it
right,
could be different. Like you have to be aware of, and I tell this to people no matter where they go, and you and I both know homework and legwork are two very important things when it comes to moving abroad. No matter if it's Colombia or anywhere, you've got to be in a scenario where you're like, I've done research on to what it is that I'm leaving America for and what it is that I'm looking for in another place because no place is perfect, but it may have a lot of the things that you're looking for. Can you agree?
right, right.
So it's relatively an opportunity to say, hey, I can do the legwork. I mean, think about how many you met, bro. I tell people this all the time, even if you're not on here. I'm talking about you all the time, my brother. Literally, because what
I
we're
appreciate you,
doing
man.
is but what we're doing is realistically a situation of community and effort to make community actually something that is real, that is tangible. Because
Right.
I was a person that was looking to leave. I saw that you had already left. I met you in a place that wasn't even a place that I was looking to move. But I went there only specifically to meet you because I was like, this is a guy that not only is already living abroad, but is actually doing the things that are similar to me. So why
Yeah, in
wouldn't
Puerto Rico.
why
Yeah,
wouldn't I go out there because I'm a connector of people. I have to
right,
connect
right,
other
right.
people. And
I
this is a
remember that.
connector of people in his own lane. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to meet him. And I literally scheduled a trip. That was in January. I moved to Colombia in March. After
Mm,
doing all my research, after narrowing down and everything else, I went to January. I went to Puerto Rico, and I think it
yeah,
was February. I went to Medellin to see to make certain once again before I moved, and then in March I moved. That's
yeah,
how intentional I was with me getting out of America and giving myself possibly a better chance at a better quality of life because I realized that there there's no catching up to this. I mean, don't get me wrong. And then when you catch up to it, is it what it is that you value? Like, because some people will say, "Oh man, he must be broke." That's not the case. So many people have put so much things on money and stuff and things that people think that somebody will go out and say like, "You don't need all the stuff and things," that they don't have anything or never had anything to be able to say that. it's more of an opportunity to see that the world is bigger than stuff and things. You know what I mean?
Right, right. And even with the financial part, the financial piece, it's good to be someplace and not have to worry about money, not have to worry about, you know,
You're human.
yeah, it's yo, I keep when I'm in Colombia, when I'm in Cali, every week I like to film from the market to tell people like I'm out here at the market. Every Friday is market day. And I go and I spend about 20 to $25 in fruits, vegetables, and eggs. And it runs to the following week, $20. $20, if that. You know what I'm saying? And
If
and
that,
that's
right?
like
No, no, big if, bro. Because 50 cents a pound of strawberries, $1.25 a pound of oxtails, and that's in Medellin local prices. It might be even cheaper in Cali.
yeah, it's way cheaper in Cali. And it's like I don't even go to the super. I barely go to the supermarket in Cali. I get all my produce from the market. We have this thing called the mobile market. So it moves around the city, and on Fridays it's in my neighborhood. It's in the north of Cali in La Flora. And I go and I get my eggs. Excuse me, I get all my fruit, my onions, coconut. I get all of that. I leave with two big bags for like $20. And that's like for the whole week. A lot of times it lasts more than a week. And here, $20. What is that? Like three boxes of cereal or something? You know, like
You lucky, my boy, if you're gonna get 3 boxes of cereal.
I
Like
got two
they're
I
not
got
getting.
two dozens of eggs the other day from Walmart for like $10. So that's half of my whole that the two dozen of eggs is half of my entire grocery.
And they were them white eggs that they got to refrigerate.
Yeah, exactly. And the eggs that I get eggs in Colombia that don't even go in the refrigerator. So it's wild. So it's it's fun to share stuff like that, share information like that with people. You can you can eat healthier for less. And
I love it.
that's one of the driving forces for me leaving the US so much because I don't have to worry about money. And I can live healthy. Like I eat healthy, have fruit every morning. I hike, I walk more. Um, I can get
I'm
health
hyped.
care for cheaper. I can walk into a
Hey,
dentist. I can walk into any doctor's office if I feel like I want to get checked out. Nothing has to be wrong. I can just go in and get an exam or get
you don't
anything,
have
get
to
an
go
X-ray
through
or
like
whatever.
the. It's like a gamut in the United States of people you need to go to in order to get actually healthcare. It's like, okay, like my toe hurt. Okay, well you can't go right to the so and so. Like you can go to a podiatrist, but like a lot of times you have to go to your primary care doctor
Right.
and then go and then get him to sign off to send you somewhere else. Here you can just go straight like an MRI. You can go be like, "Hey, I need an MRI," and they're like, "All right, lay down."
Yeah.
Versus like you've got to see 15 different people to get an MRI signed off, and your healthcare is like, "I'm not giving you no MRI. Like you're not even sick.
Nah. And
You haven't been given a doctor's note that said you were sick. Never mind that you. That's a thing. People, and I know a lot of people that deal with like different medical problems and stuff like that, and then being a black person in the United States dealing with how doctors may treat you like you're like some superhuman, like you're just going to live through everything. That you run into a lot of scenarios where it's like, yo, like I don't feel well, and this is something that can give you an understanding of how I don't feel. But in the United States, people will literally tell you like, well, like you're probably fine, and because they don't want to give you an opportunity to feel okay or like to get it figured
yeah, I mean
out.
it's
Like
big business. They want to keep you sick, bro. They just want to keep you
it's
sick and
ridiculous.
they're not looking for solutions. Um,
Now
so
it runs out of I would say runaway when it comes to how many things are the reasons why people from America could look to be 100% leaving? Now, I tell people all the time because a lot of people don't know how their passport works. The blue passport that America gives you, they don't know how it works, and you are a extreme case as far as positively being able to show how your passport works. Because where are you at right now, bro? Where are you at this point? If you had to
Right
drop
now,
a Google location, are you in like Virginia?
yeah, I'm in Virginia right now.
And I point that out, everybody that's looking, because you most people, I get so many people that are ready to looking to leave and are like so knee jerk reaction looking to leave and don't realize that they get 180 days on their blue passport in Colombia with no extra paperwork. I mean, you got to file an extension if you stay 180 days consecutively, like, or stay past 90 days consecutively. But the moment you leave, starts over again, and then you have up to 180 days in a calendar year. And so many people don't know that, and they're looking to start applying for visas from the United States because they heard Colombia was a great place, but they never actually been here. They just saw it on the internet and have done maybe some research, and that's where they are. What do you think about that, bro?
I think, like I said, I think people should. You have the passport. I think you should go check it out first. Get the lay of the land first. And like I said previously, check into Black expat groups. There's a Black expat group in every country on the globe. Um, do a Facebook search. It's easy. Do a Facebook search, join the group, and ask your questions. It's that simple.
You know how many people give me pushback about that, bro? They're like, I'm not on Facebook anymore. And I'm like, I don't need you to be on Facebook to go become a rock star, a superstar, or find your next wife or husband. But so many people don't know where to go. And Google, I'm not. I don't know if Google can lead you to where to actually you need to, like, the real conversations are happening. You know what I mean? Because there's two layers. There's the Facebook conversations and then there's the WhatsApp conversations. Being in the Facebook groups will get you to the WhatsApp conversations,
Right,
but you probably won't see the WhatsApp conversations on the internet. And then
right,
that's where you really, really get the information in the most cases.
right,
Some
right,
people,
right,
this is why, first of all, this is why we're doing what we're doing. Because y'all aren't in the WhatsApp groups that we are in. Y'all aren't already part of these. You won't know about these until you like know somebody that knows somebody.
right.
There's like, you need to be in this WhatsApp group because they're going to give you information that you need, connect you with people, vetted resources. Vetted resources are the biggest thing in your success,
Yeah,
I think, and moving abroad. And the
yeah,
only way you get resources is a hookup. And not necessarily not the only way, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to do the legwork to get the vetted resources.
right, right.
So many people are
You
just
don't have to.
like,
You don't have to
watch a video.
reinvent the wheel. You you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And in most cases, it's free. It's free information. Um,
Not most cases. You know why? It's hard. It's hard, and some. Not every community is set up the way. I feel like Colombia does a really good job at setting the tone.
mhm.
Um, and I'm not saying other places don't, but I don't. As a person that needs to act and not just hear a bunch of random thoughts, there's a difference between a place where people are talking about things and or giving you actionable items in an easily digestible way. That is that is not often the case. We're all consumers of things, and we have to be able to digest information. Like, all of the information that I know now was somewhere, but it wasn't in one place. we had to piece it together, and then now I know where to go.
That's true, but
But
if you ask the right questions, you can go to any expat. You can go to any expat group and ask about a doctor, a lawyer, um, housing. You know, the basic entry level things. The basic information is free. If you want housing, or you can go into any group and just do a search. Search what you're looking for. Even if you asking a question might not be the
bro,
best, but if you go in and
you
you do a
see,
search, the
this is
information
the
is
thing,
always there.
bro. You're talking from a person like yourself. You're talking like a person like yourself, like a
But I
person
wasn't
like me.
always
That
I
is a
wasn't always like this though. That is
but
literally how I
but
got into
that's what I
Colombia.
mean.
That's how I got
You
into
have
Colombia. I
talk to
did
me.
I did searches. I did searches for the places that I wanted to go. Um, and then from there, after reading and seeing who was posting, I reached out to some of those people, and then from there, it kind of grew. But and I'm a different kind of person. I think it did.
But
Yeah,
that's
I
what I
think.
mean.
Yeah,
Most
I
of these
think it.
people
Yeah,
that are maybe watching this aren't this. I'm looking at an Instagram comment, and my boy is like, people don't want to do any legwork. Folks want handouts, and they consume the app and for all the wrong reasons and not actually learning anything. And I'm like, you're like, well, you got to ask the right questions. These people don't know what the questions are to ask. That's what the problem is. Because here's the thing, I do a lot of research. I'm in a lot of groups, bro. I
yeah,
see a lot of people asking things, and it's 11 people chiming in. Now, some of them may be people that know, and some of them may be people that don't know, like the people that are saying, hey, I'll go do a 3 day itinerary because I went there for 72 hours. That was my first time, and I won't
yeah.
be there for the next 3 years and never again. And you run into this, and people are literally making life decisions off of random information versus that's why I'm like, bro, I need you to come on because some people can't leave full time. But you like have a scenario where you're like, yeah, I hit the United States, go there where I need to, do what I have to do. But a lot of times I'm gone and they gotta understand how they passport work. They have to understand like moving abroad, like is a bigger it's a I feel like America, even though you're in the driver's seat of like having to work and make money and everything else, you're really in the passenger seat because you really don't know how the world works. You just know how America works.
Yeah, I will agree with you there. I will definitely agree. And so we're here now, and I'm speaking to people who they don't know how to initiate, they don't know how to start the process. That's who I'm actually speaking to now. When I say go into the expat groups, don't just move over to Ghana just because you took a trip there and everything was cheap and you had a good time. It touched your heart. If you want to move someplace, go and sit down for a month. If you're able to stay in one place for a month and live there as a citizen. Do what you do at home. And that will give you an idea of whether or not this place is for you. If you can give it about 30 days, at least 30 days. And that'll give you an idea because being a tourist is completely different. It's a completely different situation or experience than being a resident. So,
180 degrees. It's
yeah,
completely different.
I think that's the important thing, and asking the right questions. Housing, banks,
Yeah, good
transportation,
at asking questions.
medical,
Yeah,
food. You have to
real
ask
things.
those. You have
Not
to
how
ask
much
them.
the
You have to get
bottles
that
cost at the
information.
club.
Get that information and run it through a few people before you make a decision. So when I say run it through a few people, I mean go and look. Look who's giving the information. Find the trusted sources. Find
Hmm.
find several trusted sources and run it through and
That part.
make sure that the information is consistent. Because sometimes people don't really have the answers that that you think they have. They don't always have the right answers. Talking about influencers, nothing against influencers, but influencers are not a great. They're not always the best resource if you're looking to do something long term. They can get you through the weekend, but nah,
Get you, you
they can get
speaking,
you through it. They can
get you
get
through
you
the
through the
weekend, but
weekend.
like
But like I said,
daily
even
life.
that information needs to be run through uh, trusted sources because a lot of times, and I'm repeating myself. And if you're
No, you're
out there
good, bro.
listening,
The message
I'm
is good.
repeating myself on purpose because these are very important points. Influencers are people who go to a place to sell you an idea, to sell you they're to draw you in. But it's your job to do the research, to do the work. Influencers are not the experts. They're influencers. The definition of influencer, it's in the name, people. They're there to influence you to make it to act, to make a decision. And sometimes we make decisions
Yep.
we make uninformed decisions a lot. So I challenge you if you're really considering like a long term or serious
A whole lot.
move as a foreigner, a serious move to become a resident of a citizen or whatever in a different country. I challenge you to do your research and ask the questions. Make sure you do the research. Do the research. Medical, housing, transportation, food.
All of
Start
it.
there. Start there. If you don't have that
I
information,
love it.
if you don't have that information,
You
don't do it.
should.
Don't move. Don't move. And make sure that you have travel insurance that covers you. Some of y'all are out here traveling raw dogging it.
Wildin'.
Make sure
Raw
you have
talking.
travel insurance. Make sure your travel insurance covers your medical expenses.
Grab
God
your
forbid
on
something
my way.
happens to you in a foreign country. You're in Paris, France. You're in Lisbon, Portugal. You're in any place outside of the United States. God forbid something happened. You're in an accident, and you need to be medically evacuated. Make sure it's only
That's a hefty bill.
$50, between 25 and $50 to cover your medical expenses. Make sure you have that coverage. If you're traveling without medical travel insurance, you're doing it wrong. You're already wrong. I
So
can't
if
yeah,
you
I
guys
can't
don't,
stress that enough.
if, now if you guys don't understand what Akeem is saying, and that's what, like, so you guys like, let's say you guys are going somewhere for New Year's or going somewhere for Christmas or whatever the case is, right? And you're like, oh well, I'm gonna get the cheapest medical travel insurance. Travel insurance, the cheapest one to cover your bags, if you have a delay in flight, if you need to cancel your flight. But so many of y'all are literally leaving the United States and actually not being in a scenario where your body is covered. Whereas, like, if you need to go to a hospital over there, if you are sick or get hurt because you went ATV and you went on Dunn's River Falls, you went 1,000 different places that you can go, and something happens to you, and you say like, you know what, I would prefer United States medical care, and it's like, well, who gonna get you there because it costs $50,000 to get you there, or it costs
Exactly.
$50, or it costs only $50. So you guys are realizing on this platform that, hey, like, maybe I haven't one, maybe I haven't been traveling the right way just in general. Maybe I need to actually start doing, because I love when I bring people on, bro, and they say
This sounds like
everything.
an altar call. You haven't been doing it, but now is your opportunity to give your life to.
Hey, listen, man. You need to put your ties in with yourself. You got to realize that the 10% is going to literally be back into yourself as far as the work. The work is
Yeah,
different. It's leg work and it's homework. You have to do
yeah.
homework. homework because you literally need. This is not a move. I tell these people, and I love it because I bring people on, and then I'm on here a lot of times by myself. But then I bring people on, bro, and then they say exactly what I tell them when I'm by myself. You said exactly what it is. Like you got to do the work. You got to do the legwork. You got to do the
Yeah, you
homework. You
have
got to
to.
ask the right
You
questions.
have to. You have to.
You have to do this.
You
And
have to.
then you take something like what we've done, at least what we've done for Colombia, it gives you a start. Not every place has a website you can log on and say, okay, we can go here and there's some resources and some people that you know that aren't gonna like they do this. You know, like there's a you gave me the dentist person, you gave me another person. I've got immigration lawyers, like people that already do this, so you don't have to fish around and figure out who's the right person. Like there's already people, and we've put this together, bro, to make certain that like people have a step one.
Right.
People know what to go look for because all of those things that you mentioned, you know, healthcare, uh, immigration lawyers. We always separate in the United States healthcare from dentists, but like, which is terrible. But both healthcare dentist people, like people to help you learn the language that are local people that will help you learn a language because most of you guys that are in America, and I was talking to Akeem with Akeem the other day, and I was like, most of you guys, Kali is going to be relatively tough for you to go from your couch in whatever state you're in with no Spanish to Cali. Now there's a huge community down here in Medellin and Cartagena that will like give you at least your first stop, and then you will see so many people move from these big cities to other cities where it's like you really need your Spanish, but things are way cheaper. Life is a lot. It gets even more enhanced. I feel like in Cali, based off of what you always told me.
Yeah, Cali is life. Cali is Cali is real life. Cali, Colombia is real life. It's very laid back. The challenge is you have to know Spanish. You have to speak Spanish. You have to understand Spanish. And when I
Mm-hmm.
tell you that, it's not a difficult thing. Being in a place where you have no option but to speak Spanish, you will get better. Your Spanish will improve. You have no option. You have no choice. It's not like a Cartagena. It's not like a Cuba or Puerto Rico or Medellin where you have a lot of local people walking around bilingual who speak English. It's not like that. But the one thing you do have on your side is that it is a major city. It's the third largest major city in Colombia with a population of about 3 million people. So you do have good infrastructure. You do have Uber. You do have all of the comforts of home. You just need to learn the language, learn Spanish. But when you learn Spanish, once you overcome that hurdle, you don't even have to be fluent. Once you get to the place where you're comfortable learning, you're comfortable speaking, and you've
Exactly.
developed your ear, once you get to the place where you're comfortable communicating, because you don't have to necessarily be fluent, but you have to be a good
Nope.
communicator. Once you get to that place,
Open to
Cali
learn.
is a breeze. Cali is a breeze. Everything is
Open to
less
learning.
expensive. It's the least expensive of the major cities. Um, there is no tourism. There's little to no tourism outside of salsa. It's the salsa capital of the world. If you're not there for salsa, you're there for medical tourism. That's like the second biggest uh, tourism draw in Cali. Um, so nobody's trying to beat you over the head. Nobody's trying to sell you anything. That's why I enjoy it because when you get the culture of Cali, it's not a put on. It's not a put on for tourism. So it's just how when you see people dressed a certain way, when you see people celebrating a certain way, it's not because the people from the U.S. are here. It's not because of tourism. It's an official, authentic experience. So that's what I appreciate about Cali. Um, but you definitely, it's not a place, and I think that's what intimidates a lot of people because you don't know Spanish. It is the safest. of the major cities in Colombia. Don't let people fool you. It has the largest population of black people, but it is the safest city I've been in
Really?
Colombia, of the large cities, of Medellin, of Bogota, Cartagena. Cali is the safest. They say it's the most dangerous city because it has the largest population of black people. Anywhere you go in Latin America, anywhere you go in Latin America, whether it's Portuguese, French, or Spanish, they're going
Y'all
to
know,
tell
y'all,
you that
y'all
the
know
most dangerous
Nash.
places are where the black people are. Don't believe them. The most
That's
laid
where the
back, the
seasoning is
most
at. Y'all tripping.
the the people in Cali are the best part. That's the best part of Cali, the people. Um, but I want to go back to the health insurance part.
Talk to me.
So I use, and I'm not telling you who to use. You have to do your own research. I use Allianz. Allianz travel insurance
Not
has
sponsored by
they have
Allianz.
annual policies, and you can do a per trip policy. But they're not the only one. There are plenty of companies out there who do it. That's just the company that I use. And I can tell you, they have they have a really good medical plan. I got sick. It was something I ate. I don't know if it was food poison. I can't tell you if it's food poison or if I had a stomach virus. But I ended up having to go to the hospital. So it's not always an accident. Sometimes you just get sick.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I went and I learned that if it's outpatient for the plan that I had, if it was an since it was an outpatient situation where I wasn't required to spend the night at the hospital, I paid out of pocket and got reimbursed. Now, if it's inpatient and you call, they will contact the hospital and they will pay up front. So when you have to spend the night, they will pay up front. And I learned that in that situation. That's something I learned, you know, just I didn't even know that prior. I know that some companies will pay prepay or pay ahead, and you don't have to be reimbursed. You don't have to pay up front. But that was a situation. So speaking to you about my experience with Allianz. So
Gotcha.
start there, and I would even go. They have many different policies, so I would even go as far as to say, contact them, call them to find out what the best policy is for you for your travel needs, your health needs, or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but do not. I can tell you so many times over the past 5 years, just in the past 5 years, there have been people who, a lot of us travel. We're nomads. Some of us are nomadic. We travel from country to country, and sometimes our family, they may have. The last time we heard about from our family, or the last time we spoke to somebody, we were in country A, and now we're in country D.
Mm-hmm.
So there have been times where we've got notifications or got news that somebody passed away and nobody knows how to contact their relatives.
Mm-hmm.
These are other situations where, things that we need to consider when we travel. Who knows where you are? Who knows how to contact your family? And who knows how to get help? Who has access to your travel insurance
Definitely
information?
seen that so many. I've definitely seen that so many times in these groups where somebody has been a part of this, Medellin community down here for quite some time, has known a couple of people, and they say, "Hey, you guys, you might not know, but so and so died," and then
Right,
50 people say, "Oh my gosh," and then it's like, how do we get in contact with their
right.
family or the lawyer? Like that was the last one. It was like, how do we get in contact with his lawyer and the other
Check
stuff?
in. Check in. Let people know where you are. Every city I go to, I check in. Somebody in that city knows I'm in that city.
Yep.
Anywhere I go in the world, so check in. My daughter always has my travel insurance information. So
So you're talking about. So I tell people this all the time, and I think it would be I would be tripping if I don't point it out because most of the guys don't know. I tell people all the time, and I'm not isolating this. This is not an exclusive scenario, but I'm talking to my people when I say this. Like I tell people, the black travel community is big and small at the
Yeah,
same time. Like, we all know each other. So if you are an introvert in the United States right now, and you are literally looking to move abroad, I do not recommend moving abroad if you are willing to keep the same stance of introvertedness. Not because here's the thing: you've got to maybe learn a new language, you've got to learn a new culture. There's no way you can be an introvert and learn a new language and a new culture because you need to immerse yourself in the language. So your ear, Akeem just mentioned the ear. It's not
yeah.
just I know how to read and write, but if you don't know how it's supposed to sound and even how you're supposed to say it, you're always, even how you're supposed to say it could always make you seem like an outsider, even if you're saying the exact words. But bano and baño are two different words. Am I lying?
Yeah, you preaching, bro. You
But those are
definitely
all
talking.
things where I'm
Yeah,
like, you cannot. So many people are like, I'm going to take my hermit life and I'm just going to move abroad. And you can't be a hermit or can't be a person that is closed off to learning
yeah. I
and move abroad.
I
You
agree
are
with
better
that.
served, just like with no travel insurance, you are better served staying in America because you're
Yeah,
comfortable and safe.
yeah. I would definitely underscore that. Like, I'm an introvert. I don't do a whole lot with a whole lot of people, but I am
You,
somebody else. When I'm
somebody that
overseas,
don't know
I
you
am
would say
somebody
that
else.
there's no way that you could be an introvert.
I am very much introvert. Look at me. I'm in. This is my house. This is the empty house in the U.S.
You are a
and I am
great travel
alone.
curator
I
that
am
prides
alone,
itself.
and I am happy.
No, you're fine, but you are not. When I say introvert, I don't mean like I spend I'm in the crib a lot of times and I'm like because I'm working, but when I say you don't, you can't be an introvert based off of what it is that we know that you do. You can
Bro,
be an introverted person, but you curate travel for people. Some of them you know, but a lot of them you may meet for the first time, and you're willing to do that.
it's a
Introverts aren't
skill
willing
set,
to set up situations to meet people for the first time just to
bro.
show people that they don't know all this awesome stuff that is in the world.
I can tell
You
you
can
better.
keep
I
playing
can
that
tell you
off
better
game, my
about
brother.
Akeem than anybody else. Akeem
I
is an
mean, you're
introvert.
right.
I do. I listen. I've been self-employed for 2 decades, so it's a skill
Okay.
set that I've learned. I've learned how to interact because I own businesses. But you best believe when I'm not hosting, if I don't have to be around people, I am not around people. I am almost always by myself. I don't like,
But
I'm
there
not,
are people that don't have no businesses, bro. That's who I'm
yeah,
talking to. I'm talking to the people that don't have a business that
yeah.
never get out of being an introvert and then move. Cause let me ask you this: how was your first time when you moved to Colombia and you did you speak Spanish?
I mean, my Spanish improved, but it wasn't, my Spanish wasn't even good when I decided to move.
How did it improve?
It improved because I was in a space where I had to. So here's the thing for me, my case,
Yeah.
I work in tourism. And so I was working with the local government in Cali. Um, and I work in I'm in 3 Spanish speaking countries. So I do a lot of, I do a lot of work in places where Spanish is the dominant language. So I wanted to, I recognized that I needed to be fluent in Spanish. I could be like chilling with you at I don't know, At Frisbee, I don't know if y'all have Frisbee chicken or whatever in Medellin.
I had some frisbees before I seen you, my brother. It was
Okay,
amazing. Yeah,
so so perfect
I was-
example. I could be chilling with you at Frisbee, but then in an hour I could be in a meeting with the Secretary of Culture, and so I wanted to be able to speak for myself. I wasn't really too
yeah,
keen on translators because a lot of times I'm from the U.S. and I use strong language, and the Colombian translators don't really want to say what
you're
I.
not gonna be able to give it to you
Yeah, they
because
don't
it's
really
very
want to.
flowery. Like,
Yeah,
I need to speak
yeah.
a
So I wanted to be able to speak from the heart. So for me, it was important to go into meetings and be able to speak. And even though I'm not 100% fluent, even now, um, I can still get my point across, and I can still understand. And I didn't want to just have street Spanish. I really, really, really wanted to. I desired to speak to people in different levels of society. So.
Yeah, that's
Um,
real talk.
It just depends on people's desire. People's desire. Where are you going to use your Spanish? I've met people who are learning Spanish and only want to learn it because of, for work reasons. They're not really trying to be social Spanish speakers. But I would definitely, I had to be social because I had to exercise my language. It's not going to happen. If you're not using it, you're not going to get better. So, and it's not
Nah,
as
that's
hard
real.
as people think. I'll tell you from my experience, it's not as hard as people think.
It's just learning at an adult
Yeah.
age. I think that's what most people's fear are.
But I mean, you literally at this point in time, you learn how to speak in Spanish the way you speak in English, and that keeps everything easy. Because I'm not saying anything. What I tell people, I say, listen, I don't use giraffe is not a word that I use in my daily English. It's not a word I use in my daily English speak.
I'm like,
So there's no need for me to learn that word in
get
Spanish. So focus on the conversations you have, the daily conversations you have, the jokes that you tell. If you talk dirty, if whatever the context of your daily conversations, that's what you should learn in Spanish. That's what helped me. I made it really simple. I was like, when I first in 2020, when I met Juan Carlos in Cali, I said, the jokes I tell in English, I want to be able to speak at that level in Spanish. I really don't. There's no need for me to learn things that I'm not going to talk about. So, and I was
You know
able
why that's
to.
important, bro?
Yeah, go ahead.
So no. I say that's important because so many people are like, okay, I want to move to a Spanish speaking country and I don't really know a lot of Spanish. And where do I start? And then they go, cool, I'm gonna go to Duolingo. And you mentioned not wanting to learn how to say that you a giraffe is in the building. Um,
Yeah, like shit.
and
Pardon
Duolingo
my language.
will teach you things like that. And so
Yeah,
many
you're
people,
wasting
that is
time.
their first step because they don't know no better. And I'm like, bro, Duolingo will be like, you will say in the most eloquent Spanish, like, I have a brown belt. That is what Duolingo will teach you. You will be 400 days in, over a year, and you won't even know how to order at a restaurant, but you did it
Right.
every day. And I'm like, that's why I'm like, we have to, it's not about, hey, just, you got to ask the right question.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have
yeah,
to,
yeah.
but it's not just that though, bro. A lot of these people, because think about it, you started traveling way before Donald Trump's second term, even one term, got rid of him, impeached, whatever that was, then come back. Like, this is the reason why a lot of people are looking to leave. Because they're like, I'm not going to go through this again, or whatever this may look like. But people
Right.
are literally making knee jerk reactions without the right questions to ask. So, without giving them the right questions and leaving it up to almost a mystery, it leads to whether or not people are going to have a good time when they actually go move because they don't know what the homework is. So that's why we on the phone right now. Not the phone, but the internet. That's why we doing what we're doing, bro. Because so many people actually want to do it, but where do they start? And not just ask the right question. What's the right question to ask when I
Right.
go in here? You gave them like ask about healthcare, ask about immigration lawyers and things that you need. Ask me how does my passport work? Excuse me, how does my passport work?
Right.
Because if you are looking to go leave after January and you only have 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months on your passport, you need to go get a new passport.
Oh, yeah.
Anything under a year, personally, I don't even want to. I wouldn't even. I'd be like, I need to go get this immediately. They just started online passport renewal. I've already put videos out about how you can get your passport in a day. Like, y'all
Yeah.
need to like get actual resources. Like, we will be at a disservice to these people that are possibly watching this and saying like, "Hey, bro, you just got to do your research." What research?
Yeah.
The research. You got
That's a great
you got to
point.
ask the right questions. What
That's a
question?
great point.
I
That's a
don't
great point.
know. They don't know. They don't know, bro. So they got to get the. We have to give this to them because you know why? Because them people that we're talking about that's pulling up and doing the 72-hour videos and they're saying, "Hey, I know everything you do," and we see it. It goes viral. Hey, you want to come to a place that you've never seen before, and this is what it is to do. And I'm like, I've never seen this person walking around in these streets, and I be around, and I know enough people in these streets where they be around or somebody would know and they don't be around, but they're the people that are going viral. And then these people go and say, "Well, I didn't know the question to ask, and I didn't know what to look for,
Yeah.
so I just went."
I even saw a video of somebody, some influencer who was just she was talking about one city. She was saying that she was in one city, but she was giving information about a completely different city in the one city that she was in. So I was just like, yeah, this is why people are so confused while they're traveling. But
That's what I'm
you
saying.
make a great point. That passport situation, I think we should do like a series, man. I think we should have those. I would love to stay connected to this, man, and come back and talk about some other things. Um, but
Yeah,
before we
we
leave,
get these topics.
before we end this, I do want to bring up the point that Mr. Mood has he's curating an experience in Medellin in March. So those of you who are watching and are interested in learning more about living abroad, I would definitely take advantage of that opportunity. It sounds like I don't know the details. I'm acting like an influencer
We'll
now.
get
I don't
into
know
it
all the
right before you
details,
leave.
but I'm sure he's going to give you the information for those of you who, especially in I think it's in Medellin, right?
Yes, sir. We're gonna get
Yeah,
into it so we know what it is because we've been talking about this. Like, going
yeah,
to where it is that you want to be. Like, it's not about just doing the homework. The work is about home, work that you can do at your house right now on your couch
yeah,
where you are, and then the leg work because you got to actually figure out because not everything is as it seems.
right.
I am a person that will be always honest with you and tell people like, "Yo, I love Colombia. I love what it is that I'm doing here." TikTok, I'm about to lose y'all. I've got a thing. Let me see if I can get the. I'm trying to get my
Yeah,
phone charged,
I gotta roll out
but
here myself.
nah, you're good. I'm gonna get everything off, but I will leave people with this. The relocation tours are designed to give you the legwork that it is that you need to determine, is this a place that I want to go to? Is this a place that I actually want to be? Because Colombia is a country. Medellin is a city. It is not Cali, it is not Cartagena, it is not Santa Marta, it is not any of these other cities. And then when you get into Medellin, it is about the neighborhoods that you may want to be in. Do you want walkable? Do you want a hilly environment with a extremely nice view and you can see everything from all the way down, or do you want to be actually down there where you can walk? These are things that the relocation tour is designed to do. We will be in Medellin, Colombia, March 12th to the 17th. all of our experts that are designed to give you everything that it is that we're not professionally able to give you: a house, immigration lawyer, the language experts. All of these things are designed to show you what it is that we moved here and didn't have all pieced together. That's
Right.
why I said, bro, we can't just tell them
Relocation
like
tool.
you're not asking the right question. No, go to moodtravelcolumbia.com. The answers for the questions that you have in your head are already there. The experts that
Right.
you're saying, I need to find a guy that I can feel comfortable renting a place from.
Right.
It's
The
already
frequently
on
asked
the page.
questions. Somebody's already asked the questions.
Right. We didn't reinvent the wheel. We just put the wheel in one place so you didn't have to go figure it out for yourself. So
Right.
moodtravelcolumbia.com is the place where you're going to go for all the free resources, all the experts information. That is where you're going to go sign up for the relocation tours. That is March 12th to the 17th, 6 days, 5 nights. It's not the longest time, but it gives you an opportunity to see specific information that you need to start your journey abroad. You
That's
can go from
good.
there to Cali. Akeem got all the resources for you in Cali that's already set up. You just need a little bit more Spanish to feel comfortable to be able to go there. But once you land here, so many people branch off to different cities because
Right.
they're like, hey, it's cheaper. I know enough Spanish. I understand the culture. So, Akeem, as always, my brother, we're gonna get back on uh anytime, honestly. I'm on Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Y'all can always catch me for certain. But anytime that you ain't traveling, I know I'm coming up traveling and we always
Yeah.
moving around and shaking, but I'm always ready because our people need to hear this. They need to hear from
Right.
us, two folks that look like us, that is like, yo, y'all can do this.
Yeah.
And
I
we
can't
did.
commit to every day, but I'm gonna try to get on at
I'm
least one
around.
night next week.
That's cool.
Because there's a lot of information to share, and it doesn't cost you a dime. It doesn't cost a dime, people. It doesn't cost a dime. I'm available to share. And if you want, I'm not sure if you can. If can I share my contact information?
Go for it, my brother.
Okay.
This will be up on
Um,
YouTube, so we're gonna put the full thing on YouTube. So go for it.
yeah, it's Live Be Do. You can see it on the shirt. Live Be Do. I am your favorite travel host, Akeem. You can find me at www.welivebdo.com. We have a Live Be Do Facebook group, Live Be Do Instagram, Live Be Do uh, TikTok, X, DM. Send me a DM if you have any questions about Cali. If you have any questions about specifically about Cali, Colombia, let me know. Hit me up. Um, but until next time, I hope to see you in the March trip, the March trip in Medellin.
And don't forget, because today, listen, everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to happen, and not a moment sooner. And I told all my family and my friends this. I say that is because at 3 o'clock I do my group travel calendar. So coincidentally, today landed on Memorial Day in San Andres.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying, bro. You ain't been
oh,
busy. You've been so busy, and I'm like, I could only get you on this weekend, but it actually like coincided at the exact same time that we were on. I was talking about it earlier. That's why I'm like, bro, we are moving with the synergy that the energy of the world has for us. But
wow.
me, Mood Travel Club, Live Be Do, we will be in San Andres together. So we're
Memorial Day
inviting
weekend.
everybody that is literally watching this to come to San Andres and
Yeah,
actually see not only some of the best food, fun, history, and culture in Colombia, but an opportunity to reconnect with the African diaspora that you don't even know.
yeah.
So many
Ooh.
of you don't even know exist.
San Andres is Colombia's best kept Caribbean secret. This is an
I
important
knew you
trip.
were going to say it. It's the
I won't give
secret.
it to. I'll save some of this. The next conversation. I want to get into San Andres. It's a very
Let's
important
do
trip for those of you who are considering Caribbean travel and Colombian travel. Very important trip.
it's the most beautiful experience to build with my community, and I keep telling you guys this. The opportunity to go further is with your community, not just by yourself. So,
Right.
Akeem, as always, thank you so much.
No,
You
thanks
guys
for
will
this
see, continue
opportunity,
to see
man.
Akeem,
Huh?
And listen, I'll be back on Monday unless something big comes up, but I'll be back on Monday at 3 p.m. We'll figure out when we're gonna get back Akeem on. You guys know Monday is why I moved, because y'all trying to figure out why you what is the reason for you to move and how I took the first step. So I give you these answers. I don't just send you on this mission. I'm like, listen, this is what I did. This is how I did it. It's how you can. So, my brother, appreciate you as always. You enjoy your weekend, man. You
Salute,
enjoy
man.
America, bro, because I know you dealing with things I don't deal with no more. So you
I'm
dating a
not. I'm
woman
in
I
the
gave up
house.
back in the day.
Listen, man, it was good seeing you, man. Good talking with you, man. We'll connect next week.
Yeah,
All
for
right, have a
sure,
good
brother.
weekend.
I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right,
All right, later, brother.
later.